We are recording team meeting session 1, February 6th, 2019. And I have some good stuff for us tonight. And this is going to be session 1. Dylan's going to be joining us session 2. It's about to go down. So I always like to start our meetings with the same quotes and the same concepts, just to kind of lay the foundation for what we do here. It is not necessarily about the knives. It is about who we become in the process of selling the knives. So it was really cool going to a conference this weekend and really embodying some of these principles that John Maxwell said it best, his 5 things every day that he does in order to create 82 books. And we were just talking about this at TLA with our managers and management candidates. But I think it's noteworthy of talking about what those 5 things are. And he said, read, think, file, ask questions, write, repeat. Read, think, file, ask questions, write, repeat. And he says daily. He says, when I'm on vacation, what do? I read, I think, I file, I ask questions, I write, I repeat. He said, if I'm sick, what do? I read, I think, I file, I ask questions, I write, and I repeat. And he does this every single day without fail. He said every single day. He's in his 70s now, and he's written 82 books and he says everything rises and falls on leadership. He has a great book that's coming out called Leader Shift, and he just gave and delivered a fantastic message. And what that means is when he says, I read, what that really means to me is that he's reading not a bunch of BS on social media. He's reading experts' opinions, books, encyclopedias, biographies, autobiographies, lessons that he can draw out lessons from so he can ponder and think about them. And then as he gets stuck in thought, he's thinking about different concepts. He's going to get an epiphany about one of those concepts sometimes, probably most of the time, and then he's going to file. What he does is he files that thought into a brain. Our brain is, if you think about your brain, is like a filing cabinet. You ever have like an aha moment? You're like, oh, I forgot about that. What that is, it's a file popping out of your brain that was stored away. Like I could go to each of my filing cabinets in the office. I open up a drawer, and if I look under a file that says closing, I'll be able to pull out a file on closing. That's how the brain works. So all these thoughts that we learn are filed in our brain. Our brain is the most resourceful computer. Think about your brain as like a computer, and there's all these files and all this data in the computer. The brain never forgets anything. You imagine that? The brain never forgets anything. So when you think something or learn something, it's filed there forever in the unconscious mind. And it's there forever. So when he says, I file, so I read, I think, I file it, then he asks questions about the thought. How can that serve me? How can that serve other people? What can I do with that? How can that help my cause? Should I make this a priority? Should I take it? Should I leave it? Should I offer it to other people? And then he writes about it. And the reason why he writes about it, so it's documented, so it's actually able to be revisited at a later time. And all of that writing and documents turn into books. And then if he does that every day, 365 days a year, and he's done this for the last 50 years of his life, he's going to have 82 books. Pretty interesting concept from a guru, if you will, and an expert on leadership. One of the many great lessons, and what it is, simple disciplines. Could we agree those things are pretty simple? Maybe takes all of 20 minutes. Out of the 20 minutes a day, that's how many minutes a week? What is it, 20 minutes a day? There'll be 140 minutes a week, right? 140 minutes is about 2 hours and 20 minutes. There's 168 hours in a week. If we took 2 hours and 20 minutes of those 168 and did what he's talking about here, imagine how many goals we'll get accomplished with those small, simple actions daily. And what's failure? Simple neglects, simple poor judgments. That's it. That's the only difference. And I would say that's one of the big light bulbs for me during that conference. So there's many light bulbs that came from this, but that was one. Another one was the ClickFunnels. I'm super pumped up about that. And all that means is just creating a passive stream of income, but more importantly, creating and scaling my influence to outside of just my office. So I'm super excited to really influence 1 million people And I don't have a deadline for that, but I really firmly believe that I'm going to be able to influence over 1 million people through this funnels activity that I learned at this conference. So I got to put a deadline to that, and I will shortly, but I'm not there yet. But it's super exciting to be able to impact and influence that many people through this scaling tool that I was able to learn. So really cool stuff there. Some great concepts on storytelling, great concepts on selling, great concepts on just how to think about sales. So what I would say is, for time's sake, what I'm going to do is I'm going to host a webinar of talking about this, and it'll be separate outside of the Cutco business, because I want people to, not just Cutco, to learn and absorb some of this information. So when I go live on that, I'll be sure to let all of you know. And then if you wanted to hop on to get all of those lessons and extract those lessons, you can feel free to do so. So my other thought on my opening comments is always the same. Do you have a problem in your life? No, then you have nothing to worry about. Yes, can you do something about it? No, then don't worry. Yes, then don't worry. And we all have some sort of problem. We could call them a challenge. We could call them a holdup. We could call it a detour. We could call it a roadblock. You call it a speed bump. But there's usually some sort of inconvenience that's in our way. And it always comes to the second and third and fourth question. But really the second question is, can I do something about it? Well, if you can do something about it, then just do it. Take action. Not feel. Don't feel. Because then you're doing it twice. You're doing it in your head, and then you're actually doing it outside. Sometimes we do things 5 or 6 or 7 times because we feel about it, think about it 4 or 5, 6, 7 times, and then we actually do it. By the time we do it, we're freaking exhausted because we did it 8 times in our head already. Our mind cannot tell the difference on whether we did it or we didn't do it. Like, for example, cleaning your room. If you think about cleaning a room 7 times, by the time you actually clean the room, your body thinks you already did the chore 8 times before you actually do it. So if you just did it on the first thought, you probably wouldn't be as tired once you're finished. In fact, you'd probably feel really good. I had the conversation with Lindsay. She cleaned her kitchen and she was like, I felt so accomplished. Yeah, that's because you got a dose of dopamine. When you check items off your to-do list, you get a dose of dopamine. That's why people like to get clicks and likes. When you get a like on your comment or your post, or you get a comment, you get a dopamine kick, dopamine kick, dopamine. When you check things off of a to-do list, dopamine kick. Makes us feel good. Of course. Of course. So just kind of something to think about. So just do it. And if you can't do something about it, then stop worrying about it. Accept it and move on. The faster you can do that, the better. So those are my thoughts for Mike. I wanted to share with you where we're at as far as the state of our business right now. So we're already 30 days into the new year, 36 days into the new year. And I think it's important for us to get a checkup and see where we're at. So right now, our goal for January was to do $53,000 or $100,000. We got to $53,000. Now, our largest January ever was last year at $87,000. What's interesting about $87,000 is that usually about 10% of our annual sales. So when we did $87,000 in January, we ended up doing right at about $90,000 in sales last year. So $900,000. Thank you. So we did about $87,000 in sales in January, and we ended up doing about $900,000 in sales for the year. Now, with that formula being said, if that's the case, we're pacing towards a $530,000 year, which would be 50% of what we did last year. About 40% of what we did last year. I don't know about you, but I'm not cool with that. So what that means is we need to create some growth. It's okay. It's okay to have a bad month, but we got to recover. Remember, the goal of 100,000 is just one goal out of multiple goals for the year. We could still bounce back with our spring goal of $250,000, our spring goal of providing 50 jobs. And that's where all of us come into play. So right now for the spring, we're at 57,000. So we got just under 200 grand to go. How much time do we have? Well, we have about 12 weeks. How do we sell 200 grand in 12 weeks? Well, let's do some math. $190,000 divided by about 12 weeks, that's about $15,000 to $16,000 per week. $15,000 to $16,000 per week. So what does that mean for each of you? Well, if each of you have 3 or 4 orders a week, let's say hypothetically, there's 3, 6, there's 9 people plus Dylan, 10 plus Trey, 11. So then we have a couple stragglers in there. Let's call it 12 people. Say we have 12 people that have 3 or 4 orders a week, 12 times 3, let's say, that's 36 sales a week, right? 36 orders a week. We'll take Dylan out of the equation because Dylan's probably going to sell like 50 grand out of that 250 or that 200. So let's take him out. He's an outlier. Let me take him out. So out of the 190, we as a team, we need to do 140. 140,000 divided by 12. So we're looking at about 12,000 bucks. So we're looking at about 12,000 bucks a week. So now let's go back. 12 people, 12,000 bucks. It's 3 to 4 orders. Could we agree you probably should be able to sell 1,000 on 3 or 4 orders? If all we do is each of the 12 of us just have 3 or 4 orders a week or sell about $1,000 a week, we'll hit our goal. But here's what's crazy. We're still going to provide. We only provided 19 jobs. We still want to provide another 31 jobs. So not only if all of us do 3 to 4 orders a week, but then we add on and provide 31 more jobs to young people, they're going to sell 3 or 4 orders a week, and that's how we're going to recover and still hit our goal of $250,000 for the spring. Does anyone see this? Mm-hmm. So you might think, oh, I'm only one person. I don't matter. You matter. You matter. Think about it. If the quarterback gets sacked on the team, who else gets sacked on the team? The entire team gets sacked. So you might think, oh, I'm just one person. Guys, if the kicker on the team misses the field goal, who else misses the field goal? The entire team. If the guy holding the ball for the kicker messes up, who on the team messes up? The entire team messes up. Every single person on the team matters. Now, Dylan's our quarterback. He's selling the most. But the guy holding the ball is just as important for his role. And if your role on this team is to simply place 2 orders a week, you've got to do your part. If your goal on this team is to recruit and enroll and recruit and have one friend join this team per week, then you've got to help us get one person on this team a week. Whatever your role is, you've got to play that part so we can hit our goal collectively as a team. What does that mean for you? That means you're going to have to hit some promotions. That means the 3 of you listening in virtual land right now are going to have to get promoted to be assistant managers this summer. That means all of you are going to have to run kick butt branch offices this summer because that's going to provide you a great playground for you to get better at the job this spring. That means brand new guy over here hasn't had the sales success yet. That means you have to step up your game and earn some promotions and get promoted. Because the fact is, for us to hit these goals, you all need to step up and rise up to hit some goals in order for us to hit these goals, which means you're about to make some money. You're about to earn some opportunities. You're about to get promotions. You're about to get a sick, nasty resume. If you want to be a part of the team, that's the expectations. Or maybe Burger King will hire you. Because the fact is, we have standards. And the standards is to do your job. Do your role on this team. And as the coach, I'm excited. I'm excited about holding these standards. Because know what happens? The coaches that don't do well, they get fired. Adam Gase, I'm a Dolphins fan. He's no longer with the Dolphins. He lost too many games. The Browns coach, he's no longer with the Browns. They lost too many games. Now, I don't plan on losing my job because I'm pretty damn good. So if I'm not losing my job, you guys can fill in the blank. You guys follow me? If the tide rises, all the ships in the harbor will rise with the tide. We're the tide. We rise up, everyone else is going to rise up too. Let's hold some standards. Let's hold each other to these standards. So why are we going to grow? Why are we going to hit these goals? And I'll review these with you each week. Number 1 is senior leadership. Our top performers are homegrown. We have great people in our pipeline with those individuals, including Amanda and Zach and Dylan. We have new talent with a hunger to build with, Alex sending his 50 Facebook messages twice this week and helping us with team building. Kiki having her cousin in training as well as her roommate. And we have some exciting new talent with a hunger to build our organization and build with the summer intensity, which is pretty exciting. And also with our increase of social media usage. It's cool. Sierra sitting right next to me now, sending hundreds and hundreds of Facebook friend requests every single day. She just sent out probably 1,000 messages or 1,000 friend requests during the last 24 hours. of just making sure that she can let everyone know that we exist. And she's doing her part, which is exciting. Not messaging yet, but just adding the friends. She only sends maybe 100, 150 messages a week, letting the people know, but she's sending like 500 friend requests every day. So that way she could get ready to let those people know that we exist. Our recipe for growth is very simple. I'd write these down. Consistent 3 to 4 orders each week. 3 to 4 orders. That's why Dylan tonight's going to talk about how do you create 3 or 4 orders every week. If you show Cutco to 5 people, 3 or 4 buy. Either you sell them Cutco or they sell you why they shouldn't buy. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing else they could buy once, use every day, never have to replace it, and it saves them money. There is never a no sale. It's either you sell them on why they should benefit from Cutco and own it for the next 40 or 50 years, or they sell you on why they shouldn't. And when they say, I'm not buying Cutco, what they're really saying is I'd rather spend my money on something else. And what's something else they're going to spend their money on? Dinner. Lindsay and I went to Carrabba's last night. It was $70. It's like, and we had to wait to get a table. We went to a dance studio last night, and the lesson, like I said, it's like $80 a lesson. And guess what? There was like probably, I don't know, 14 or 15 couples there. I mean, you guys this is what grown-ups spend money on. And if you're under an illusion that money is the reason why they're not buying Cutco from you, hello, McFly, like it's not them. It's Back to the Future if you guys don't know me. Like, it's not them. Take responsibility. And it's like, all right, I got to get better. So that's why Amanda's running workshops every single morning, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. If you want to get your butt out of bed and get better at the job, show up with Amanda and role play some stuff. I love that TJ came in today. He's like, hey, I want to get better at the job. Let's role play some stuff. Let's go over some stuff. Take advantage of that. 100%. Send 50, add 50, set 5. This is how we're going to spread the word. We send 50 Facebook messages. We add more 50 possible people we could send messages to. And then we set 5 people up for interviews each week. We do that as management staff. We're going to constantly replicate talent. Number 3, win the day. When during push weeks, our March Madness push comes up, we win the day. How do we define win the day? Does anybody remember? 5 points. What does 5 points mean? How do you get a point? You schedule 4 demos for the day. Like you create 4 new demos in the day, you get 2 points. How else do you get a point? Every $500 you sell gets you 1 point. And every every 2 sponsors get you another point. So how do you get 5 points? How do you win the day with 5 points? Book up 4 demos, sell $1,000, and get 2 sponsors. That's 5 points. So during a push week, you could literally just sell to get 5 points, sell $2,500, and that wins the day too. You could get 5 times, 100 recommendations, or I guess that would be, right? 10 sponsors, and that wins the day. You could book up during a Sunday, a phone jam, and book up 4, 8, 12 demos, and that wins the day. So if you just have that focus on, let me win the day, not all the time, but during push weeks, 5 points to win the day, we're going to have massive growth in 2019. Number 4, the online sales and marketing team expansion. I'll tell you right now, this opportunity is one that could create an extra $100,000 in sales this year. $100,000. So if you're doing any virtual demos, don't take it lightly. If you get sacked on a virtual demo and leave that appointment without a lesson, you're failing the team. Draw a lesson out. Like, why did I make a no sale? Like, what the hell happened? Let me get better at this so I can help other people get better at this virtual demo. Because Sierra had 80 sales on the virtual demo. Man, if she could do it, I could do it. What's causing it? Let's get better. And we could collectively continue to grow. And when you get sponsors and when you get sales, what caused it? Because you caused it too. It's not luck. Like, you don't get lucky in sales and unlucky with no sales. It's always your fault. No sales are your fault, but sales are too. Find the best practice of what's working. And lastly, the coaching systems. I know you feel the WhatsApp is super tedious. I know you think clocking in and clocking out and end day reports is tedious. I know clocking in and after clocking out of each appointment with a 30-second voicemail to your coach, voice memos to your coach, is tedious. I get it. I know those benchmark calls on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays are tedious. But the fact is, what's the alternative? Ready? Write this down. Sales is hard. There you go. I said it. Sales is hard. And if you don't have systems of accountability and encouragement, it is impossible. 30,000 people that are in sales paid lots of money to go to a conference this weekend in Miami. Why? Because sales is hard. And we're giving you free coaching. We're giving you free accountability. We're giving you free encouragement. When we just had people to sit in the front row, those seats were how much to sit in the front row?
At least, I think it's like $7,500, $10,000.
$7,500 to sit at the front row of this event. And you're getting free coaching, free accountability, and free encouragement. And you're saying, oh, it's so tedious to send this. I get it. It is. But what's the alternative? Sales is hard. You're going to get discouraged. You're not going to follow through on your execution. You're going to set a goal of doing 2 appointments in a day and not follow through and get those 2 appointments for the day. You're going to say, I want 7 appointments for the week to sell my grand. And then when you don't, you're like, okay, it's fine. Your self-talk is going to get in the way of execution of results. That's why it's important. So those coaching systems are in place to help us have a fantastic growth in 2019. So what's important now? 3 simple actions. And you'll hear me talk about this every week. You're going to hear me talk about this every week until you guys can say it for me. Own your word. If you say you're going to have 3 orders this week, you get your 3 orders. If you say you're going to sell a grand, you sell your grand. If you say you're going to send your 50 message, send your 50 message. If you say you're going to clock in, clock in. If you say you're going to complete your appointments, complete your appointments. If you say you're going to work on your attack list, work on your attack list. If you say you're going to show up at 7:30 a.m. for Amanda's workshop, you show up at 7:30 a.m. for your Amanda's workshop. If you're going to go to campus, go to campus. If you're going to set up PR, set up PRs. Own your word, because we're a team and everyone's counting on each other. Number 2, March Madness. There's only one push during the entire spring, and it starts on February 25th. February 25th. So from now until February 25th, we essentially have, 20 days, 19 days. We want to make sure we're getting ready and prepared for that March Madness push. There's only one during the entire spring. And number 3 is your daily rituals. How are you priming yourself to make sure you don't get distracted, to make sure you're not getting overwhelmed? This is not the number 1 priority. I know this is not the number 1 priority. You know why I know? Because I have my engineering degree too. You think Mike Abramowitz was born into a 30-year-old grown-ass man who just was like really good at life? No. Like I was 18, 19, 20 years old, studying engineering, traveling back and forth to New Jersey, 26 trips in 8 months. You guys that were at the Hall of Fame, you heard you heard my story. You know this shit was not always easy for Mike Abramowitz. And if you have not watched that speech, I highly recommend you to go watch that speech so you know what I've gone through and done to get in this chair behind this desk. I promise you it was tough, but I promise you it was worth it. And if I didn't have daily rituals of accountability, of encouragement, and daily rituals of keeping myself in check and allowing myself to learn from people who are better than me and setting my ego aside and taking responsibility for my life and my goals, I promise you I wouldn't be in this desk and none of you would be in this room right now either. Good thing I didn't quit. And good thing you're not going to quit either, because people are counting on you. The same people that are counting on me right now, those people are counting on you, whether it's in Cutco or in your future careers. The better you get at life now, the more value you're going to offer people in the future. So your daily rituals matter. This is not knife stuff. This is life stuff. How you do one thing is how you do a lot of things. So let me come up for some air before I wrap up my comments and kick off our jam. What showed up for you? I'd like to hear from maybe 2 or 3 of you for my opening comments real quick. Of some of you are like, dang, I either needed to hear that, or that was inspirational, or these are some action steps I'm going to take because of that. What showed up for any of you? Maybe 2, maybe 3 of you. If we want to hear from all of you, if all of you guys got inspired, I'll hear from all of you. But, so Amanda, you have your hand up. Let's go through it.
Yeah. I really like what you said about how self-talk will get in the way of execution.
I agree. Excellent. Who else?
Going off of that, just do it, and then think about it, more exhausting.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't emphasize that enough. Like this today, I sat at my chair. I literally sat at my desk from 5:30 a.m., maybe 5:45 a.m. until about 2:30 p.m. And I got up maybe 1 time. Just kind of put it in perspective. And when I got up at 2:30, I was like, damn, I haven't done my cold plunge or anything yet. So as soon as I thought that, I literally got changed, put on my flip-flops, and went in the pool. The moment I thought about it. Because I knew if I allowed myself to procrastinate or think of something else, I would have convinced myself not to. 100%. 100%. What else? Who else? Stephen, please.
Sales is hard, and having your simple disciplines in place. Like, I know personally, I don't feel fulfilled if I don't get my morning routine done. So knowing, like, not fulfilled, but knowing, like, you got your stuff done before 9, 10 a.m., and you can start your day, like, fulfilled almost. Is,
Accomplished, yeah, fulfilled. Love that. Love that. Cool. Anyone else in virtual land, Trey?
I don't think it's ideal.
It is true. It is true. Anyone else?
How important the systems of accountability can be.
Yeah, I agree. What do you mean by that? How important it is? What do you mean?
So like being able to have that, like you have self-discipline, but then also when you have those systems of accountability with like the group chat and stuff that you have to follow through with, like it helps you like stay in line to say, so that kind of helps. I don't know. Also, when you have a coach or manager like over you, and it kind of helps because if something happens or you're kind of discouraged, you have them to like encourage you and keep you accountable.
Yeah. Keeps you on track. Keeps you on track. 100%. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And if there were other light bulbs, totally cool. Let's go ahead and let's move forward. So transition real quick to wrap up. I posted these in our WhatsApp group so you could see the March Madness team building standings right now. So Amanda, Ella, Kiki, and Alex all have one person so far. And you guys remember this contest started January 15th. And this is the contest right now. So they don't have to sell $1. They don't have to sell $1. All they have to do, complete training and start doing demos. And this is the contest. 3 friends, you get either 10 peelers, $150 in Cutco, a $50 dinner gift card, $50 donation to a charity of your choice. 5 friends, you get a massage, 2 Orlando Magic tickets, a sunset cruise for 2, or that Wonder Boom speaker that I love. And if you're the number 1 team over 5, then you get your choice of a custom Jay Hilburn shirt, jet ski for 2, Busch Gardens fun card, or a Michael Kors purse, which is usually we're going to max those out at about $150, $200, depending on which one you pick. So bottom line is it makes sense to recruit. And here's what's kind of cool is the March Madness brackets that we're going to put together is going to look like this. You plus all of your friends. So if you look last year, it was Amanda, Mike, and Cassie was all on her team competing in the March Madness push. It was Ella, Vaughn, and Jesse competing in the push. It was Savi, Deandra, Josh, Kendall, and Matt all competing as one team in the bracket. So when you get put into a bracket, it's you plus all of your friends. This bracket starts Tuesday, March 5th. So if you're flying solo, you're probably going to get beat by Dylan. I can assure you. But if you have 3 or 4 or 5 of your friends, Dylan, just so you guys know, Dylan has had a week over $1,000 every week for the last 48 weeks. 48 weeks in a row over $1,000. He sold $186,000 last year. He's going to sell $300,000 this year. So if you're up against Dylan and you're by yourself, you're going to just pretty much hand him the tournament. So that's why we add this little caveat there to make it fun, to make it interesting. So the final 8, if you make it into the final 8, you win automatically $50 free Cutco, your choice. If you make it into the final 4, you get $100 in free Cutco. And if you're in the final 2, you get your choice of $150 in Cutco, or I'll send you for a 60-minute massage at a Massage Envy type of place. And if you're out of town, of course, I'll just send you the gift card. We'll arrange it for you. The brackets are created by Campaign to Date CPO. So if you're the lowest ranked bracket, you're going to be against the number 1 seed, who's Dylan. So pretty much you're a shoo-in to have a first-round elimination, right? So you don't want to be in the lowest seed. You want to work your way up, Campaign to Date sales, to be at the highest seed possible. On a side note from this contest is the team sales contest. So now you could win more prizes if you recruit good people. So let's say I'm Amanda. And it's like, oh, I'm really not popular, Mike. I don't know that many people, but I have one friend who I know would really sell a lot of Cutco. By the way, that was Zach Schachter and Mason Linker. So Mason's like, yeah, I'll sell knives. Mason sold like 40 grand last spring. During the contest, he ended up selling like 25 G's by himself. So you could have you plus one badass friend, and you could get some cool stuff. But the caveat is you need 2 PRs. So Mason he had 2 friends that he completed training, and they won the tournament last year. He was number 1. He got me for 2 Universal tickets to take his girlfriend at the time to Universal Studios just for simply selling the knives. So this is just additive. Help us build the team with good people that do sell the knives, and you'll also win more free stuff that you could see on the screen. Plus, every time you get friends that sell Cutco too, you also have this contest. Alex is probably enjoying his Yeti he got me for. I know Steven's enjoying his Yeti he got me for. Here's what's cool. Ready? You get 4. So they have to sell $1,000. So Alex just had his friend Sabrina complete training. So Alex now has Lindsay, Taylor over $1,000. Sabrina's about to get over $1,000. That's 3. Alex gets 1 more. And Alex is about to get me for a $150 shopping spree to a store of his choice, which is pretty cool, right? So Steven, you had Khalid who's over $1,000, and Zach. So once, but Alex started 2018, so I didn't put him on this. So he started 2018. This is only 2019 team building standings. I thought so too. Yeah, I know. So I prematurely got you that Yeti. So once Zach gets there, it's cool. You could enjoy it. But anyway, but you guys could see this here. So Kiki, once Danielle, she's completed the training, and then you get Samia, she's going to be completed training this week. As soon as the 2 of those girls get over $1,000, boom, I'm going to send you a Yeti, which is pretty exciting. Plus, once you have 3 friends that just launched, so Alex right now is competing for a scholarship, a Team Builders competitive scholarship, where he's going to get anywhere between an extra $100 to $1,000 just by helping his friends get the job, plus get a bunch of free stuff, plus compete for a March Madness tournament, plus he's almost like a shoo-in to earn an assistant manager position, because that's what assistant managers do anyway. So if he just does the stuff now before he gets promoted, he's probably going to get the promotion.
Just makes sense.
It really makes sense. It was interesting enough. If you read How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I'll leave you with this. There was a part in the book where I think it was like Roosevelt's maid was talking to Roosevelt, and Roosevelt was looking for a Secretary of State or Secretary of Treasury or something like that. And he was campaigning and advertising to bring on a new Secretary of State. And the maid, his White House maid, said, "My husband would be a great person for that role." And he said, "Okay, tell me about your husband." She says, "Oh, he's great, this. And once he earns the title of being Secretary of State, I know he would be a great leader." And Roosevelt said, "I'm not looking for someone that needs a title to be a great leader. I want someone to be a great leader first, and then I'll give him a title." Let that settle for just a moment. So help us build the team. So I'm going to encourage all of you, Triple Threat, post some stuff out there. If you haven't posted this up on social media, put it up on your Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube. I really don't care. Put it on 3 of the platforms and see what happens. We have Sabrina on our team because Alex posted this up and sent some messages on Instagram. That's pretty awesome that girl's life is now better because he took 40 minutes and sent some messages. That's awesome. And that's why I'm paying him $10 an hour to simply just send some messages and add more people. So right now I got him for $30 so far. He's done this 3 times to my recollection. That's pretty cool. A little extra side cash, plus he's earning opportunities. Why not take my money? I'm only doing this for another few weeks. Another few weeks as we're building up for March Madness. So if you're interested, let me know. I'd be glad to consider you for this. And also seeking helpers, any shifts, $10 worth of Cutco per hour. You go to campus. I know Sierra went and Brenda went to SBC earlier today and yesterday and Monday. I know Steven and Amanda went out to SBC Tarpon and got out like 50 or 60 business cards. If you want to go help us out, let's go. Let's just sign up and just help us pass out some cards and get the information. I'd love to buy your Mother's Day gifts for you, your Valentine's Day gifts for you. Now just doing some advertising. And lastly is this random text message. I know I'm asking you every week, and I'm going to continue to ask you. I'm going to have you do it right now. Let's go ahead. And I switched up the script just a little bit. Just pick out 3 people. I'll put the script in the group right now. All you're going to do, just copy and paste this. It's super simple. You could send it on a Facebook message. You could send it on a text message. You could send it on an Instagram message. You could send it on a direct snap message. Maybe you take a selfie with yourself and then just put that as the text message and direct message that to, 3 people. Well, let's do it real quick. 3 people. Could you send it to 3 people real quick? Take you 60 seconds. Copy, paste. Send it to 3 people. Hey, it's kind of random. My boss has a couple part-time positions he wants to fill. If you know anyone looking for extra cash, let me know, or just send them to PinellasStudentWork.com. Real quick. Here's what I'll do to make it a little interesting. The first, because I got to pay out some Cuckoo Bucks tonight anyway, the first 2 people that can screenshot their 3 texts that they send out into our group chat right now, the first 2 people that will send that out right now and post a screenshot, I will add an extra 15 Cutco Bucks to your Cutco bank account. First 2 people, I'll add an extra 15 Cutco Bucks to your Cutco bank account. All you gotta do is send that text. Take a screenshot that you just sent that to 3 different people, and I will add 15 bucks to your Cutco bank account. The first 2. And once anyone responds, if they respond with anything, all you say is, my manager can explain things better than me. I'll put you in a 3-way text with him so he could explain everything. That's it. Put him in a 3-way text with me that says, hey, Mike, this is my friend, Brandon Ward. I know spots are limited, but I really want him to have the opportunity to get an interview for the part-time work that you told me about. I can vouch for this guy that he would be great at the job. Now, please make sure you changed a little, he's and she's and him and hers, make sure it matches up. So that way they don't call you out on that. But other than that, that's it. Anyone that expresses interest, you put them in a 3-way text. And I know Kiki's been just dominating this, just absolutely crushing it with this. Kiki's now had, 4, 5, 6 friends get hired at this point all around the country. Kiki's going for 50 states. She's going for 50 friends in 50 states right now. She's on a freaking roll. We're going to have to call you Butter because you're on a roll. She is running it. She is running this recruiting. It is awesome, and we love it. We absolutely love it for sure. And I'll post that text message or that text into the WhatsApp group too.
Josh?
Boom, Josh. Got it. Oh, Alex in there. Oh, I got Kiki with 1, Sierra 1, Josh, Kiki with 2. Sierra with 2. Sierra with 3. Bam. Sierra and Josh on it. Thanks for playing, guys.
Whoa. Does Instagram count?
Thanks for playing. Yeah. It's on the post. Instagram counts too. Text. Oh, what did I just click? Okay. Cool. So I appreciate you guys for playing. I'll add those to your, I'll give you right there the Cuckoo Buck check. So last part, I promise. Upcoming events real quick. Make sure you have your calendars out. Most of you already do. Rapid Fire Bahamas. So Steven will be joining the executive team in the Bahamas February 8th to the 10th. So he'll send us all a postcard for that. If you guys want to go to the Florida State Fair, I'll be going to observe Dylan run his event. And then I'm going to be hanging out at the State Fair afterwards. I know last year it was a good time. Actually, Ella was there with her sister. And also I think Lindsay was there. And I think you were there too, Amanda. Were you at the fair? And then Trey? Yeah. It was a cool little group. It was fun. So right now I'm going alone. So if anybody wants to join me. So Amanda will probably be there. So Sierra will be there. Cool. It'll be fun. So I'm going to observe Dylan, then we'll go. AMIs and MITs. So that's the 3 of you in virtual land. Conference calls Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, February 12th from 5 to 6 p.m. with Jeff Gamboa again. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is next Thursday, February 14th. So if you haven't been promoting these sales that I put out on WhatsApp, I highly recommend you to do so. If you follow my Mike Abramowitz or Cutco Guy Facebook page, George is running my social media for me. So he posted the homemaker one. By the way, that is like the most sick, nasty deal I've ever seen. It's the discount and the shears and the entertainer pack. It like mercs your CPO, but what a good deal. And my sister, she tagged one of her friends, and then her friend was like, ooh, I really like the red. And my sister was like, yeah, I really like the red too. So, of course, I'm going to be following up with these people. So it's getting some traction, which is pretty cool. So I highly recommend you to do some there. A-Squad Prep next Saturday, February 16th. For those of you guys who want to help us feed some people, Sunday, February 17th at 9 a.m. is our next PB&J Feeding Frenzy. It should be a really good time. And our Region March Madness, as we said, starts on Tuesday, February 25th. So I'll be coming out with each of you one-on-one to discuss your push plan. And just remember, just keep doing the job. You guys are going to have great success. So session 2, Dylan is going to talk about closing. That's why I went a little bit over this time, because usually I'll have about 45 minutes to cover a lot of this stuff. But Dylan is going to be taking the second session, talking about closing phones on closing demos, and then on the demos, closing sales. So definitely get ready for that. It's about to go down. We have a great night ahead of us. So I definitely appreciate all of you and your time and your energy. And we're gonna have a great meeting. We're gonna have a great Wednesday night. Post up on the Game Changer group your little flying dollar emojis every time you book up a demo, so I can keep track of how many appointments you guys are booking tonight. Our mission is to leave with at least 35 appointments as a team. And when we do that with Dylan's tips, we should be able to sell that 12 grand that we want to sell this week as a team to stay on track to recover from our subpar January. So remember, it's not how we do, it's how we recover. So thank you guys for your attention, your efforts, and I appreciate all of you. And I will see you during session 2 at about 8:45. 8:45, look for the link, and we'll start back up then.